Morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Alan Horton, the radio play-by-play voice of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'd like to welcome everyone here to Target Center, those of you joining us in person, those of you watching on Timberwolves.com, listening on the Timberwolves radio network, and those of you joining us via Zoom. Today, we're excited to welcome the newest additions to the Twin Cities and the Timberwolves family. Last Thursday, the Wolves added to their talented roster by acquiring center Walker Kessler, forward Wendell Moore Jr., and forward Josh Minott. Walker averaged 11 points, 8 rebounds, and nearly 5 blocks a game last year at Auburn University, earning National Defensive Player of the Year honors. Last season, he led the NCAA in blocks, and his 155 blocks were a single season record. He finished second in blocks per game. Wendell joins the Timberwolves after averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in his junior season at Duke. His 13 points a game ranked second on a Blue Devils squad that saw 5 players drafted, 4 of them in the first round. A career 46% three-point shooter, a career 36% shooter from 3. He recorded the 5th triple-double in Duke history last November against Army. Josh spent 1 year at the University of Memphis, where he averaged 7 points on 52% shooting. He also added 4 rebounds, had 2 double-doubles. He appeared in all 33 games for the Tigers, including 5 starts. To tip off today's press conference, we'll start with a few words from Timberwolves President of Basketball Operations, Tim Conley. Then we'll hear from Timberwolves head coach Chris Finch and get some words from Wendell, Josh, and Walker. Tim?
First of all, thanks for coming out. I want to welcome these guys and their family to Minnesota. Super excited to have these 3 guys join our organization. As good of players they are, the background of these guys was all stellar. I think we're going to, a hugely important part of building a team is having guys that are about the right things, that are professional both on and off the court. And kudos to all your guys' families, because we couldn't find a bad word about any 3 of you. I'm sure we can change that at some point. But we're excited, and it's a fun day to kind of get to know these guys, to show them the city and show them the new home. And you're certainly not here to talk to me, so I'll turn it over to the 3 players.
Chris, go ahead.
Coach Finch first.
Yes, all right. Also, welcome. I'd like to welcome our draft class of 2022. We're excited about what these guys will become. We feel that they're perfect additions to our already exciting young core that is starting to come together at the right time. So we feel there's no better time to be joining the Minnesota Timberwolves. And but this is about them today, and it's always special to be part of their dream and watch someone's dream come true. So we hope they enjoy it and let the work begin after that.
Walker, let's start with you. What was it like being there at the draft in New York, going through that experience, and then finally hearing your name called?
Stressful. Just sitting at the table, and all those players and all the people are running around, just waiting for your name to get called, and then to finally hear your name, just like a lot of emotions, seeing your mom and dad and, brother, sister there, and just that they've been through, everything with you, and to hug them and, walk up on that stage and, hear your name selected, not for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but to know that I was going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I was thrilled, super excited. So, I'm just so thankful for everything, and, really excited to be here.
Walker, welcome. Wendell, what do you think you can bring to this Timberwolves roster?
I hope I can bring winning. Like Coach said, it's already an exciting young group that we have here. So I'm just here to compete. I'm here to add to obviously the already winning culture that we have. So I just want to win.
And what was the draft experience like for you?
I think for me it was amazing. I was at home, my family and friends. We had a great turnout back in the city. So like Walker, was stressful for me too. But at the end of the day, I'm here, so I'm excited.
Wendell, welcome. Josh, what are you most looking forward to in the NBA?
Probably say just the opportunity to compete, at the highest level. Everyone dreams about this, but I just don't want to, just get here and just be happy with that. I really want to, get some accolades, some championships, and just really, create a name and just a franchise to remember.
What do you feel like you bring to this team?
I would say just the intangibles: effort, hustle, communication, just the overall team player. and really just, hope to be able to gel, within the Timberwolves organization.
Josh, welcome. We'll open it up to some questions here. We'll have a microphone passed around. If you could just state your name and your affiliation, we'll get things started.
Chris Hine from the Minneapolis Star Tribune. Question for Wendell. What clicked for you during your third season at Duke that enabled you to take off the way you did this past season?
I think just this past year, I was just a lot more confident in my game. I kind of trusted the work I put in a little more. The teammates I had around me obviously made it easy. The coaching staff always made it easy ever since I've been there. So really just putting it all together. The game kind of slowed down for me, and I was able to play at my kind of own speed.
John Krasinski from The Athletic. Walker, I know you have a little bit of connection family-wise to Minnesota. Can you just take us through a little bit of that and, what kind of conversations you've had about now this becoming your home as well?
So my dad was actually born in Minneapolis. And then my dad's dad played for the University of Minnesota. He was a Golden Gopher. And that was way back when. So, it's cool to be, in the city and, having my dad's family be from here. I mean, it's crazy how things work out like that, but, God works in mysterious ways. So to be here now, I mean, it's really cool.
I heard you mention in a previous interview about how you've kind of watched Cat over the years. What, just in terms of looking forward to teaming up with him and what you've watched from him over the years, what kind of stands out?
So, going to Auburn, obviously playing with a pretty decent big in Jabari Smith and having a similar game, as far as like the perimeter wise, I think Cat's obviously a little more physical than Jabari. Jabari likes avoiding contact a little bit, but he's obviously a super skilled big, and I wish him nothing but the best. But as far as playing with another big, I think that in that system I can thrive, and so I'm really looking forward to it.
Wendell, a lot of the Wolves people have said how much they think about your work ethic and kind of the work you put in to get your game going. Where did that come from? How did you kind of get that instilled in you growing up?
Really just from my parents. I mean, my mom went to work every single day. I never complained about anything. My father went to work every single day. I never complained about anything. And then so at the end of the day, they still found time to really take me to the gym. So it's really just my duty to stay in the gym as much as I can and work. Like I said, I've been doing this at a young age. So now I kind of just stay with me all the way through.
Josh, did you have much contact with the Wolves before in pre-draft, or were you kind of surprised at all by when they were taken, or how would you describe just the interactions in your fit here now?
I'd say honestly, I just played basketball. I feel like it's a question best answered by my agent. I don't know how much he talked to you guys, but overall, it was just just trying to work, just show teams what I can do, and so it was definitely a pleasant surprise. When I heard my name called. I'll admit I was a little surprised. I didn't know about the trade. The phone call I got after, I was like, oh, it's not the staff, but man, it's a blessing to be here, man. I'm just thanking God, I'll continue to thank God each and every day, and I'll just put the work in while I'm here.
Coach Finch, Mike Max from WCCO. What's the most important thing that you can tell them about what they're going to see in the next 6 months, or can't you prepare them for that? Do they have to live it?
Well, I think the most important thing that they already have is that they have a work ethic, but we're going to test that. We're going to make sure that they can put the work in. Nobody gets better in this league without putting a lot of work in. We have the right environment to do so. We will have joined up thinking in our approach and what we believe they can become and what they believe they can become.
Walker, Dave Campbell, Associated Press. What have you learned about playing good defense at the rim without getting in foul trouble?
I wish I could say it's all, skill. I think it has a lot to do with it, but obviously, height and length help. But just learning how to be smart about it. I think that a lot of times people get caught up in trying to swing at a lot of balls and, because of that, get a lot of fouls. So understanding that when you can attack the ball, when you're supposed to go vertical, when you should really try to jump as high as you can, or when you should just try and contest at, a low point. And so just playing this year and trying to, win games and impact the game on the defensive end, learning just a lot about angles and just, basketball basically on the defensive end.
Dane Moore, Blue Wire. Coach Finch, Tim talked a lot about how the different ways that these guys can fit into this roster. Which ways do you see these three players ingraining into your roster?
Well, I think one thing that all these guys bring is complementary skill sets. We have a very explosive, dynamic core that likes to have and hold and score the ball. And we need guys that are tough, two-way players that can fit in between those, that can grow into roles and be highly productive in those roles. And we feel that all these guys have that ability.
Britt Robson with Minpost. To that extent, Wendell, where do you see playmaking and passing in your skill set?
I definitely rank it as like one of the top three things I do. I definitely feel like I'm someone who could play all over the floor. Like Coach said, I'm really just complimentary to anybody. So I can play with anybody. I played. To give them 4 guys who just drafted in this past year's draft. So I'm used to playing with good players. So just being able to adapt in any situation I'm in. I feel like I'm pretty good at that.
And Walker, it's been said that in addition to drop coverage, you're mobile enough to be able to go out and cover people and switch off on people. When did that skill, do you think, come along in college? And do you think you're ready for that at the pro level?
I think that for me, the biggest thing was to improve on that is just playing one-on-one with guards, playing one-on-one with Wendell, KD, even Jabari, and so understanding different angles and obviously, at the next level, there's a next level of speed and physicality. And so adjusting to that, but I don't think I'll have an issue with that. And I think that, I have the right mentality going into it and understanding that, I do need to learn and improve and understand that with that, there's growth to be had.
Dane Mizutani with the Pioneer Press. Walker, have you always gravitated towards the defensive side of the ball? Is that something you've always taken pride in, or did it take some time and maturity to really embrace that?
That's a negative. High school year, I didn't know what defense was. I was just a stretch big, skilled big offensive player. That's all I did. Carolina started to, figure it out. And then at Auburn, we had a lot of offensive weapons. So understanding that, I needed to impact the game in a different way. So I really just, took to heart the defensive side. And I think I did pretty well at it.
And just a quick follow-up, like when did you hit your biggest growth spurt? Like, were you always the biggest kid in class, or when did that kind of happen?
So I was always pretty tall. But from my 8th grade and 9th grade year, I grew about 6 inches. So that, I would say that's kind of the biggest one.
Walker, you said you've put a lot of work in your shooting these last few months. How much did you feel like you had that in your game and it just wasn't needed at Auburn and much, and just rediscovering that part of it coming into the league now?
I think just understanding, this past 4 months, I've really just been focusing on the mechanics of it. And I think that I kind of got away with that and the structure of it. And I had a lot of inconsistencies with my shot. So just being able to rep out that form, I feel pretty confident in it.
And Tim, how did you kind of scout that out, or in terms of projecting it in terms of what you knew he's capable of versus what maybe you saw on film at Auburn?
You're just guessing, in high school, Walker was a face-up 5 that didn't spend a lot of time blocking shots at the rim. I'll confirm his scouting report of himself in his earlier ages. So you talk to the coaching staff, they spoke highly of it. I think oftentimes, when you watch tape, when you see the bench react when a guy shoots, and a lot of times, even when he shot a strong 20% from 3, I think when oftentimes when the shot went up, you see the bench put their hands up. I think teammates know, coaches know, so they spoke highly of his both his ability to make shots and, more importantly, his work ethic behind trying to improve as a shooter. So, and obviously, we're super fortunate to have Coach Finch. There's not an easier guy to play for in the league. He's going to instill confidence. He's going to play a fun brand of basketball. So we always kind of assume there's upside offensively when you have a guy like Finch on the sidelines.
Thanks, Tim.
With your homework.
Tim, all 3 of these guys played for pretty interesting college coaches as well, with storied backgrounds for different reasons. How much does that enter in, or at least in the dialogue that you have with them? Is there a great deal of credibility when you're talking to their head coaches because of their resume?
Sure. I mean, it's I was joking with Josh. I got a couple of buddies on staff, and they spoke the world of him and his work ethic. I mean, he played for, obviously, Penny, who's a legend in Memphis, and Larry Brown, who's a Hall of Famer. And those guys both, spoke so highly of Josh. Wendell's, have you heard Wendell's college coach retired? I don't know if you saw that. No, it's news to some. He was relentless. I joked with Wendell's agents that Coach K was a second agent, calling nonstop and really pushed him. And I know Bruce pretty well. I know Walker could share some flowery Bruce stories that with language deleted. So they all played for great coaches, great programs. And again, the theme is that all three guys were so well thought of with their work ethic, with their approach, their professionalism, and their just desire to win. So it makes you feel a whole lot better when you select guys from those programs.
Josh, Darren Wolfson from Channel 5. How tough a decision was it to leave Memphis after 1 year?
I'd say it took a lot of just self-evaluation, just understanding the type of person I am, type of player I am, just what it takes mentally. I know there was a lot of mixed opinions on the decision, but I feel like overall it's really just up to me to really just know the type of player I am, know the work ethic I have, and just what it takes to excel at this level. And after evaluation, I just really felt like I think I'm ready to make that leap and just go to a system and develop into a player that can really positively impact this league and this team.
For those on the Zoom, please use the raise hand function if you have a question. We'll go ahead to Mark Murphy. Mark, go ahead.
Yes, Walker, have you set any goals for yourself as an NBA rookie?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, Walker, have you set any goals for yourself as a rookie?
Yes. I think the main goal is just to come in and impact winning, right away and just improve the most I can and do the best I can. Beyond that, I think that the rest of it will take care of itself. I'm a big believer in the idea that if you focus on the team success, you gain individual success from it. So understanding that and having that focus, I think the individual success will come.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, guys. We will now Alan, go ahead.
Let's do a photo op up here with all the guys and Tim and Chris.